I am a bunny, 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 I am a bunny. Hi! Welcome back, everybody! We need to get back to Sir Gawain. Now where were we? Let's see. He's left the castle, refused sane advice on avoiding certain death, and is now encountering the Green Knight. Okay, here we go! So Gawain bows and stretches out his neck. The Green Knight raises up his axe, and just as he starts to come down, Gawain glances up and tenses his neck, practically pulling a turtle move, and the Green Knight stops midair like, okay, this obviously isn't Sir Gawain that I'm dealing with. This is some stand-in taking his place. We all know that Sir Gawain is too stupid to be afraid of getting his head whacked off. And Gawain's like, excuse you, I am stupid. I mean, I am Gawain. I ain't basic. Let's do this. The Green Knight returns to whacking position, and this time Sir Gawain remains perfectly still. However, as the Green Knight brings down his axe, he stops just shy of cutting off Gawain's head, and commends him for not flinching this time. He's just effing with him at this point, so Gawain's like, would you just do it already? Damn! Third time's the charm, right? Once again, the knight raises up his axe, and this time brings it down and whack! Cuts a little nick in Sir Gawain's neck. Gawain leaps up upon seeing the blood splattering onto the snow and dons his helmet, shield, and sword and is like, okay, time out. You got your whack in. I paid my dues, so we're all good here, unless you want some of this. And the Green Knight is just chilling there, leaning on his axe like, troll-o-lo, relax, guy. And then he explains that all is well in the cosmos, and then he lets the cat out of the bag that he was the Lord the entire time. But the Green Knight states that he was just toying with Gawain because while he did honor the game, for the most part, giving Upton sweet kisses and all, yeah, he also squelched on the deal by hiding the sash. Green Knight also reveals that he personally sent his wife to seduce Gawain and to test him. So Gawain's like anime blushing at this point. He's embarrassed that he got punked so thoroughly. But to his credit, he owes up to his failings. Wanting to live. What a coward. So they both yuck it up, and the Green Knight invites Sir Gawain to an actual party, 20% less punking, to which Gawain declines after going on a diatribe about biblical characters and how you should love women but never listen to their mouths and temptation and blah blah blah. Someone's projecting. Sir Gawain determines that he will wear the yogurt sash from this point on as a reminder to keep his hubris in check, and asks the knight for his true name. That I shall tell thee truly, quoth that other then, for to lack the hot desert I am called in this land. Through might of Morgan le Fay, who in my house lives, and quaint lore of clergy by crafts well learned. Many of the magic arts of Merlin has she taken, for she is mistress full dear at one time to that cunning clerk that knows all your knights by fame. Morgan the goddess therefore is her name, wields none such high haughtiness whom she cannot make full tame. She sent me in this manner to your splendid hall, for to assay the swollen pride, if it sooth were, that runs of the great renown of the Round Table. She brought thee this wonder your wits to bereave, and to have grieved Guinevere and got her to die, by the gruesome sight of that gallant that ghastly spoke, with his head in his hand before the high table. That is she that is at home, the ancient lady. She is thine aunt, Arthur's half-sister, the Duchess daughter of Tintagel, whom dear Uther after had Arthur upon, that glorious is now. Therefore I urge thee, horseman, to come to thine aunt. Make merry in my house, my court thee loves, and I will love thee as well, warrior, by my faith, as any gallant under God for thy great truth. And Gawain denied him with nay, he would in no way. They embrace and kiss, and each the other, to the Prince of Paradise, and they part right there in the cold. Gawain on Bronco keen, to the king's court rushes bold, and the knight in the deep green went wheresoever he would? I don't know how, whatever. So after being dogpiled with revelation after revelation, Gawain pieces out. He goes on a long journey back to Camelot, a journey fraught with adventure and intrigue that the book just doesn't feel like telling us about. When he arrives in Camelot, the king, queen, and all the knights and noble ladies are super jazzed to see him fully intact, head and all. He relays to them the tale of his adventures, both with pride in his accomplishments and remorse at his failings. The book ends with Arthur and the court laughing about the yogurt sash and coming to the agreement that all the knights at the Round Table henceforth should wear a similar shame band to keep them in check, and to represent the renown of the Round Table. Then the book all caps cruise control screams at us. Amen! Shame to him who thinks evil! Look, even the Old English yells at you. So that's it. That's it. Abracadabra? Hocus pocus? Shazam! Is there a fridge here, or... Everybody.
You, as you know yourself, are not the final term of your being.
I am Little Red Rabbit Hood.
And you must die to that, one way or another.
I'll bet you'll never guess the euphemism.
Yeah, boy.
Life is always on the edge of death, always. And one should lack fear and have the courage of life.
I'm also known as Happening.
That's the message of the myth.
Claire, I'm back home.
Over there, is that?
Mommy!
Kids, it's Mommy! My Keva! Oh, darling, there you are. You had us scared to death. You've been missing for 3 days. Where have you been?
Papa can't cook. Huh? But I was abducted by the lunar whale for a whole year.
Lunar whale?
Yeah, and just before it happened, you were there. And you were there. And you were there. And you, Magic Mushroom, you were also the... Oh.
Whatever. I'm just glad to have our Bunby home safe and sound.
Oh, about that. I guess I have something to confess. I'm not a Bunby in the traditional sense. I'm a jackalope.
Darling? We already knew that.
What?
Oh, Bunby. I've always loved how horny you are.
Ha ha ha. All our times have come. Here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper. Under the wind, the sun, or the rain, we can be
Baby, I'm your man.
Barbie. Barbie.
Can you say it louder?
No, I
No louder?
love.
Baby.
Bye.